They are the shit.
I'm gonna let it go. My life is worth more than just some words.
You feel me?
Till the second time, I'm gonna let it go. My life is worth more than just some words. I ain't gonna get caught up in this struggle. I'ma keep shining. I'ma keep growing. I'ma keep.
Good afternoon, I'm Billy Talk. It's your host Ron G and your hostess Janetta Sawyer. Today we on relationships. Our topic is relationships. Nita, how you?
Hello. So we're going for relationships. This is gonna be a tough one. You pull me out character with that. We're going for relationships. Like I told my brother, it's a new day. I know that the truth is the light. I am a co-founder of a nonprofit organization that focuses on mental awareness and suicide awareness. We actually focus on the youth from the age of 12 to 17, also the parents of the youth. We are a part of a village, and we speak the truth, and we know that the truth is the thing that sets us free. So, unapologetically speaking on the podcast, a lot of females may despise. However, we're going to hit the topics on relationships. So, relationships.
Relationships. We're going to start out with relationships, man. When we talk about relationships, we're not just talking about female and a male meeting one another, dating. We talking about all around relationships, family, friends, your children, how we should conduct ourselves on those relationships. And we can't expect something out of a relationship that we're not willing to give on a relationship, give back in on a relationship, which we see a lot going on, that I expect her to be one way, but don't want to give that to her in the relationship. Like, what do you feel about that? Like,
Yeah, I feel that. I think that the root of the matter is women. I want to take it all the way back to mothers not allowing fathers to be fathers the way that they should have been in the beginning to the children, in spite of how the relationship started, and also how the relationship may have ended. Some children being raised in single parent homes affected the children because of how the relationship ended in between the two parents. May it be the mother left or the father left, and most times the mother resented the father and despised the father, or resented the fact that the father left her and kept the child away from the father. I'm speaking from myself in general of resenting the fact that a situation has transpired, and I resented my son's father for what happened in our relationship. And the logical thing that I thought, and seeing my mother being hurt by what my father did, and going down that same generational cycle of keeping my child away from his father, so to speak. And not knowing in the long run that children need both of their parents. Anybody can be a mom and a dad, but parents are people who are needed and necessary and essential in children's lives for a particular reason. A mother is there to give instruction, and the father is there to enforce authority when it comes to the stability of structure.
Do you think that's like on the woman's side? Do you think that's a part of submitting?
Yes. A lot of times, like when I said that I really resented my son's father for the situation at hand and I kept him away, just seeing my mother struggle and doing certain things, may it be the fact that even going deeper into that, my grandmother going through that with his father. A lot of times we don't look at the more important scenario of still growing that bond for the sake of the child and submitting to the bond itself for the sake of the child and being selfish instead of selfless, instead of, for the sake of the child. So instead of me being selfless and saying, okay, because it's not like he didn't reach out, I just got selfish and said,
If you're not with me, you ain't gonna be with the child.
yeah.
And that's what most.
Fuck, man. God damn, little nigga, you don't never say good morning. God damn, we manners up, man. I'll be there when you want me there. You know what I mean?
A-Wax was older than the rest of us. I mean, he was what we called a G. Always in the middle of things, instigating, arguing, fussing. He was funny to us. I mean, he been putting in work for so long, it got to a point where he just like to see other people do dirt.
He say good morning, I say what's up with all the year. Early in the morning, man, I got a lot of pleas. I wash my face and brush my teeth and cook this shit. And I can tell it gon' be a lovely day. My phone keep ringing, I tell him, boy, I on the way. My phone keep ringing, I tell him, boy, I on the way. My phone keep ringing, I tell him, boy, I on the way.
Co-parenting go through right now. I'm going through that. Both of my kids, mothers, And I can say on some instances, some terms, I may have or could narrate the story better or approach the situation better. But then, as a man, I see it gets tough, especially when you have someone pulling away. Instead of we coming together, it's hard for you to be coming and they pulling.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like you're limited to a sense because we're looked at as more powerful when it comes to the system. A lot of times we get more favor when it comes to the system. Judy Armstrong, of course, child support system and the law, they kind of have set up to where, like, all right, they rule it in our favor, and there's a lot of fear there of even trying, it's to an extent that the father will come and say, they've done all they can, because there wasn't one time that I could see that he hasn't tried to reach out, and then I shut him down, and it's only but so much a person can try, and then they just stop trying, and we want to make excuses or even paint a picture that's not there to the public eye and others to make it seem as though, the person didn't try, to make ourselves look good because we're hurt.
That's something I read this morning. It said, or yesterday, it says one thing to dislike or hate a person, but then it's another thing to make up lies on the person to destroy their character.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, it took me about 10 to 15 years to really realize how much bondage I was in with that situation. And
you bonded yourself.
Yeah, I literally bonded myself. It was a soul tie. I literally had to, sit down and have the Lord sort it out. And I had to honestly forgive myself and forgive him. I resented him for the fact of my hurt, but I actually hurt it myself and allowed certain things on the outside to do what it did. And I actually had to ask my son for forgiveness because I harbored that pain that I actually inflicted upon him by doing the selfish things that created him from having a relationship with his father at a young age. And a part of me kept them from having a relationship at a young age, even though there were times when I've had realized that, okay, yeah, I inflicted the pain, but when I was turning back to try to do the right thing, the way that I approached and the times that I have done it, and when I went back to actually approach, I kind of got shut down because it's one thing to call wolf and people come to your rescue and they see that you're really not sincere.
Because you're not
And
called wolf so many. There's about so many times you can call wolf.
it's but so much times that people gonna come,
Especially
to
when they
your
start
rescue.
looking into the situation, like, hold
Yeah.
on.
So in that, in all actuality, I really had to come to myself and realize, like,
In our culture, in the black community, why you think that's so much with our females to automatically use the kids as a pawn?
a lot of that comes from emotion, but a lot of that comes from resentment within their own childhood. A lot of that comes from them not either having a mother or father present in their own lives. Even though they may have a mother and father present in their own lives, they may not have a parent. Some people have mothers and fathers both present in the home, but they don't have a parent.
They don't have a parent.
There's a big difference. Sometimes they don't have both parents. They may be raised by other guardians, family members. Some things happen in the home, traumatic things that they sweep under the rug. It could be some types of childhood
That goes on
traumas
a lot in our
yeah,
community.
yeah, it's some things that they don't like to deal with. A lot of times, people don't like to go back and heal the child within themselves, and they allow certain things that are traumaful to traumatize them that
So you're saying
grows
that's the
upon
start of
another
mental health.
generational curse
Yeah.
that is mentally illing the children,
The children,
to come
yeah.
within them.
Yeah, okay. So, what's, 'cause I see it more, it's like, what, I'm speechless on it because I'm going through it. And it's like, from a woman point of view, as such as yourself, that you was in that situation and you came to self like, okay, this ain't right. What's like the first steps to getting there? What got you there to be like, you know what? I harming my child more than I'm harming the father. What got you there? Because it seems like a lot of females is like they're not even thinking about the child. They're like they don't care about the child.
The best thing you can do is come to reality with yourself. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I did the best that I could, right? That may not be good enough for your child. The best that we could may not always be the right thing to do. And I found that out by my child telling me that. He told me that you did the best that you could, but that wasn't enough. I still needed my father. There are some things that only the father is sent here to do for the child.
Yeah.
That's the reason why man and woman make a child.
Yeah.
They don't. A man can never be a mother, and a mother can never be a child. There's no such thing as I'm the mama and the daddy. That's a cliche.
That's a cliche.
You know,
I hate when they say that.
men were not meant to do what the raise a
We
woman
can't give
to
we can't
do.
give nourishment.
No, and I can't teach a man how to be a man.
Man, yeah.
You
and
know?
that nourishment part is one thing
I
that
can
we
teach him how to
give.
treat a woman.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
that's
he
the
told
nourishment
me
part
out of
about
his
it.
mouth, like, there's some things that I don't want to talk to you about that I would like to talk to a man about. And he told me that, you know, there's some things that I needed to talk to my dad about. There was something, he came to me and he had a sit down talk. And there was some things that, you know, I looked out to counselors. I looked out to mentors. There was some men in my life that, you know, helped along the way. And his father, and then, you know, he got a relationship after the fact of him growing up and everything. It's a lot better now than it was then. But there's a lot of restoration that still needs to be restored. And
that would probably be my next question. You like, how do you think that messed your son up mentally? Because I got this. I want to know, because I need to know like how to help my sons when it comes to that time to rebuild that and rekindle that father-son relationship.
the first step is admitting that you were wrong. Like, I literally had to come, and as a woman, me preferably, I can't speak for everyone else, me preferably, I had to admit that I was wrong. I was wrong as a mother to him. I was wrong as a mother to my child's father. I was wrong as a mother to myself for feeling that I had to do that by myself, for feeling like I couldn't put my own feelings aside. A lot of times people feel like they have to identify with their emotions to become something else. Anytime that it's nothing wrong with having emotions, because that's, you know,
That's part of it, yeah.
You're human, you know, we're not robots. And we're allowed to feel these things so that we can identify with the you know, the fact that we have those feelings.
Yeah.
But we don't have to identify and become those feelings. Those feelings are to be noticed, to be aware of. Okay, I'm mad, but you don't have to act on it.
Do you think a lot of it comes from outside influence?
A lot of times it comes from outside influence, but a lot of times it comes because of egos and pride. A lot of times we don't have to allow things on the outside to happen to us.
I heard a good terminology this morning on ego, how he broke it down. Edging God out.
Yeah. Ego ain't got nothing to do with God. And a lot of times that if you're not trained up the way that you should go, if your mother never taught you that there is something greater that's inside of you, there is something above you that's higher inside of you, that is supreme, that's inside of you, that's going to help you be a better you for you, that is going to help you along the way identify your true being, your true self, then how are you going to know you for yourself?
For yourself, yeah.
How? There's no possible way. So now you're looking for identity on the outside, and you're trying to fill this void that cannot be filled on the outside of you.
And I guess that's what the term a lot of females use. I'm the father and the mother.
Yeah, and they're looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
I looked for a father within men multiple times.
And I see that a lot with females, especially nowadays more than anything. It's like the man you're supposed to be dating and intimate, and you looking for him to be a father to you.
Right.
That's not his role to you.
Not only that, if you don't even know what a father is supposed to look like,
or treat
how
you.
will you really know how he's supposed to treat you?
Protect and provide.
You
for
don't even know love if you didn't
Yeah.
never experience it.
Yeah.
Love is an unconditional thing. It isn't a feeling. Love
At
isn't
all.
a feeling.
At all,
So
yeah.
when people are telling the truth, it doesn't feel good, so you don't think that it is what it is. So you can't identify with it because, oh, you stepping on my toes, or oh, that hurts. But the truth may hurt, but it also heals. So you're not going to receive it because of how you feel, when in actuality that's what you're supposed to be receiving.
Yeah.
So now you despise it because it's not something that you are familiar with. And then you want to get something that feels good when it's indefinite not good for you. You can't really, you feeding a baby milk all of his life. You can't feed a baby milk once it's got teeth because the teeth gonna rot off.
The teeth gonna rot off, yeah. So in that instance, like,
Life ain't sweet.
what can you offer, again, a female that was there and came to the light within self to know that I'm wrong? What can you offer to the females to encourage them on that aspect of it?
Always be mindful. Forgive yourself. The first step is acknowledging that you were wrong. Forgive yourself. Give yourself the grace. Forgive your mother. Forgive your father.
That's the number one thing.
Forgive your mother and forgive your father. And then forgive all that has happened. And start fresh. Start fresh. You don't got to go around and figure out who else did you wrong and all of that stuff, because the first step is knowing that it's your mother and your father that you need to forgive, because it's not nobody else's fault.
Yeah.
It's not nobody else's fault why you didn't have what you were supposed to have.
Yeah.
You cannot give somebody something that you did not have.
That's absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You gotta know it for yourself. You gotta give it to yourself first. And you have to be able to love you for you.
You know that.
Power the odds. Journey long, plenty disappointments and double crosses. Calculating losses, help us elevate the bosses. Decoded the mental third eye, you clean on our back. Beat the odds of the willy, let's steer it. They trying to slave me back. Journey long, plenty disappointments and double crosses. Calculating losses, help us elevate the bosses. Decoded the mental third eye, you clean on our back. Beat the odds of the willy, let's steer it. They trying to slave me back. I saw the knock with the thug, the devil got me in his sights. Heartache got the heartache, disappointments got me riding. Cross at the cross, them losses coming one to another. Number muncher, cruncher, eliminate liability. Every move you choose ain't gotta be on the news. Black market, white chocolate, no face, no kitchen food. Discipline, persistency, junior into the missing me. Grind got me grown, that don't know when he coming home. Rest assured the move on the floor, I'ma go and find it. Power all I want, I got them tripping on the wire. Electricity, only thing I'm buying, you can keep the gas up, man. Blueprint GPS, lead you the path my daddy left me. Auto war, focus study, I was barely out of diapers, man. I overstand every battle, ain't gon' be wood, man. At your weakest moment, that's when you at your strongest, man. That gon' determine if you got the might and the power to win the war. Journey long, plenty disappointments and double crosses. Calculating losses, help us elevate the bosses. Decoded the mental third eye, you clean on our back. Beat the odds of the willy, let's steer it. They trying to slave me back. Journey long, plenty disappointments and double crosses. Calculating losses, help us elevate the bosses. Decoded the mental third eye, you clean on our back. Beat the odds of the willy, let's steer it. They trying to slave me back. Consistency, the key, all I do is step and make history. Narrator of your story, you the author, G. The righteous shook and small choose all your own characters. Even women can pass a liars, great manipulator. Love on who, love on you. Ooh, that thing glittery. Partly cloudy, ooh, that thing shiny, but she ain't real, man. Ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Stay home, you gon' make it home. 42, I wouldn't shit on you, but you step on me, I'ma step on you. Accountability, repercussion, that's a part of the plan. If you can rock it, go ahead and stand it. Don't even panic. Think about chop on Tijuana, rocking his head, man. Remember the Egyptian to this day, they know I did it, man. Love and compassion, have you on defense like me in weather. Keep an arm better, scatter showers, no matter where you go out here. You ain't got it out the mud, you ain't lost it, got it back. Truth be told, America ain't got no government out here. Journey long, plenty disappointments and double crosses. Calculating losses, help us elevate the bosses. Decoded the mental third eye, you clean on our back. Beat the odds of the willy, let's steer it. They trying to slave me back. Journey long, plenty disappointments and double crosses. Calculating losses, help us elevate the bosses. Decoded the matrix, third eye, your pain on our back. Beat the odds of the willingness, tyranny, they trying to slave me back.